Rose bio on a seacht fi cuaig, agur dús tak le cheannis churn Tailteann aghain, agus an sin by the lach cheannis crave pellin na Héireann, bio o Fork on Croke.
It's our county. It's our people. It's in our blood. AIB, proud sponsors of the All-Ireland Senior Football Championship.
Hello. On All-Ireland football semi-final weekend, we still have in the running for football's biggest prize, a county that was here the summer before last claiming football's second-tier competition. And although Meath have had quite the turnover in players since their Tailteann Cup win, it is further evidence that there's more than just this cup at stake for Kildare and Limerick.
Both these counties are constantly searching for something within their own county to capture the imagination of the public.
So away we go. Wonderful finish.
But what they've got is a huge stroke of luck.
We've seen some great goal-ball incidents this afternoon at Croke Park. There was another one. And now there is no doubt whatsoever. And it will be a Tailteann Cup final for 2025 between Kildare and Limerick.
Silverware up for grabs in the next couple of hours, and what is probably more a day for watching football than playing it. Keeping cool under pressure and under the baking sun likely to be the theme for the entire weekend. It's the first ever appearance in the Tailteann Cup final for both Kildare and Limerick. It throws in shortly. And then we have the first of this year's All-Ireland semi-finals in football, Kerry against Tyrone at 5. And making their way out to the pitch, one team have already won a final here this year in Croke Park. But they're the big underdogs against this team. They've lost a final at Croke Park already this year, but can Kildare turn it around? Watching both of today's games here at Croke Park, we have Sean, we have Kieran and we have Tomas. And is it a very simple thing to say and yet accurate that all the pressure is on Kildare out there today?
I think it is, and it's been almost a perfect year for Brian Flanagan. The fact that he took over a difficult job. You got the impression early doors that he was making a big impression on the squad. They had that bit of a setback with the league lost awfully, but have recovered and have taken out some really good teams in the likes of Fermanagh. I know a lot was made of the scoreline in that game, but to win tight games and tough games like that against sticky opponents was also very impressive, because in previous years Kildare teams have failed to get through those tough encounters, and today really is about finishing the job off. But yeah, it's hard to say whether that's a better end to come in on, or whether Limerick coming in with little expectation but a lot to gain from it, and the sort of the bounce that they are on at the moment, being a footballing county, will be an interesting matchup.
There may be little expectation outside of Limerick, but you get the impression there's plenty within it. But Kildare expect to not be playing in the Tailteann Cup. They expect to be playing Sam Maguire football all of the time.
You do, and like Limerick have done brilliantly this year to win Division 4. This is their third out in Croke Park this year. But for Kildare have to win this. If they want to really step back up to the top tier. And they performed quite well in the Leinster Championship. Were probably unlucky, so that there wasn't. They had a chance maybe to get into that top tier, but. Really, Joanne, I think it comes down to how Kildare settle into this game. In the semi-final, we saw it's kind of typical Kildare performance where they drop balls short. I think they had 15, 16 wides. It was a sloppy performance, and I don't know whether it's the psychology being back in Croke Park. It hasn't been a good place for them over the last few years. But so they've got to win today. They've got to get into the groove early doors. They've a good mix of the under-20s that Brian Flanagan has introduced, but they've the likes of Alex Byrne up front, Daniel Flynn, who can hit a hot flow. And if Kildare don't win this game, they'll come under criticism. They are are the stronger outfit, where Limerick have a free shot. They've nothing to lose. They were 7 points down against Wicklow. They looked dead, done and dusted, and they a remarkable comeback to get here in the final. So they're in bonus territory, but for Kildare, they need to win it.
And yet, Tomas, that gives the impression nearly as if, and I know that's not what you mean, that Limerick have almost looked their way here. They've done it based surely on good, fast football, have they not?
Yeah, well, I think Micheál Cahill is the coach and he's very, very organised. Joanne, Jimmy Lee is the man that runs the whole thing, and Billy before him has had a huge impact on bringing them together and getting them this far. They won Division 4, and I think Kieran alluded to it there. Division 4 would be brilliant for Limerick. They were here, they won it, and now that's success for them up to Division 3. But then to come along now, albeit Kildare probably had a tougher route. Westmeath was the big win Limerick had in that match, but for Limerick football, especially what the hurlers have done, it's a proud traditional county. This is what the Tailteann Cup does. Nobody expected, with the teams that were in the Tailteann Cup, Limerick to be here. They have a free shot, an absolute free shot. I think the pressure is fully on Kildare to produce the goods here today.
The other big point, and we talk about what the Tailteann Cup can do, all you have to do is look at what Down and Meath have done this year to see how positive that has been. We all talked a few years ago as to whether the counties would buy into it, whether the progress would be gained that was proposed to be gained from it, and we're seeing that now in Sam Maguire, and both these teams today will be looking at Down and Meath and seeing that as a template.
I think, Joanne, the challenge for Kildare today is to play a faster attacking game. Their build-up play was slow here the last day. We didn't see that kicking game we saw in the Leinster Championship. If they play a slow game, Limerick are quite good zonally defensive, will suit them down the ground, and Limerick will hang in there. So I think they have to go for it earlier and ask questions.
The conditions are very, very different to the last time when it was constant downpours. It is the exact opposite here this afternoon. But what a second year already it has been for the Limerick manager, Jimmy Lee. A year that's been on a massive upward curve ever since round 3 of this year's Division 4, when a victory in Ruislip ended a losing streak and began a winning one. In just Brian Flanagan's first year as the senior boss of Kildare, he's already secured that promotion to Division 2, albeit as runners-up. One more win and it would be close to a perfect start.
Brian, a huge day ahead. How are you guys fixed for this final?
Yeah, we're fixed very well, Damien. We've really enjoyed the 3 weeks. It's a national final. It's an occasion to be enjoyed. It's one that you hope the players can go out and express themselves in. And at the minute, that's the sense. It's a sense of excitement in the dressing room, and they just want to get going now.
What have the last couple of weeks been like for you? What have the key areas to work on been?
A lot of it is about ourselves, Damien, for the first 2 weeks, and then we focused on Kildare for the last week of it. So just working on our own basics, really, and what we want to do today, and you know what I mean. So today is about doing ourselves justice and putting in a performance as best we can, and hopefully let the result take care of itself.
Scorching heat out there, Brian. Does that change the approach at all?
Not really. I mean, it's the same for both sides, and I think whoever can probably manage their energy levels, be more efficient with the ball, I think you have to try and get that thing over the end line so that you can get your breather. So it'll be one of them days, but same for both sides.
Yes, indeed, an intriguing contest. Let's have a look at the teams. It's a Kildare team that seems to have found its rhythm in this Tailteann Cup, with solid, impressive performances from Cian Burke in goal to Daniel Flynn at left corner forward. In between 1 to 15, Ryan Burke returns to fill the full-back jersey, which consequently means Tommy Guilford Carberry is transferred to the right half-back position. The other change is in the attack, for Callum Bolton will be wearing the number 12 jersey, where he'll join a half-forward line that also contains Colm Dalton and Alex Byrne. Mark Dempsey, Mick O'Grady, Kevin Flynn and Niall Kelly are amongst the substitutes. It's a strong bench with loads of footballing talent available to Kildare. Just like the Lily Whites, Limerick come to GA headquarters full of confidence, with 5 games played and 5 games won. Centre-back Ian Corbett is a fabulous footballer, with Killian Ryan and Tony McCarthy accomplished wingmen at 5 and 7 beside him. Tommy Childs and Darragh Hagan are a strong centre-field combination, while Killian Fahey from Drunculloher Broadford leads the forward division, but he can call on Paul Maher, Danny Neville and James Naughton to lend support. The Limerick bench looks quite strong, with Cormac Wolfe, Sean Clancy, Dermot Buckley and Rory O'Brien amongst the options available to Jimmy Lee. The match referee comes all the way from Ballina, Stephen Heights. It's Liam Devaney.
The last day, Kieran, when we watched Limerick here, James Naughton, who has been their star forward for so long, picked up an injury in that second half, and they really didn't want to take him off.
Yeah, and he's a crucial...
In fact, it was the first half, actually, the injury came.
Yeah, it was the first half. He kicked a couple of points, and Wicklow were tagging him. He's been fantastic right throughout the Tailteann Cup. He's racked up big scores. He's their main man. You'd expect that Kildare are going to target him, try... cut out his influence. The other man, Emma Richter in the corner, he went off with a hamstring injury as well, so they've had 3 weeks obviously to recover. But that's where Limerick's strength is, Joanne, in that forward line. The likes of Danny Neville, he will drift it. They'll get their players, they tend to free up the whole space in the full forward line, get guys outside the arc, either get shooters on the ball or get runners in behind. The likes of Danny Neville will be dangerous in that regard. He's very direct, goes at players. So like Limerick have a great chance if they get a platform in the middle of the park to get the ball to their forwards, but it's going to be a challenging day.
From a Kildare perspective, Alex Byrne only got 1 point the last day. Again, conditions were very difficult. Up until that point, though, he had got 7 points against Offaly, 1-6 against Sligo, 1-5 against Tipperary, 12 points against Leitrim. That's just in the Tailteann Cup in general.
Yeah, we've always been saying it about Kildare, Joanne, they constantly create. If they scored half of what they created the last day, they would have tarred Fermanagh. So potentially today you could see Kildare shoot the lights out. But I think if Limerick stay in the game, you'll be looking at the Kevin Feelys, the Kerwins, the Daniel Flynns, the Alex Burns to pull them back. But I think Brian Flanagan as well, what he has also done, he was in charge of the 20s, he's brought in 6 or 7, Sinky, Callum Bolton, Tommy Gill, Harry O'Neill. He's brought in a good balance and a good mixture. It was interesting to listen to Kevin Feely during the week speaking about the last 2 years, and they got relegated twice in 3 years, that they lack confidence, they were at a low energy, and I think that's the biggest challenge Brian Flanagan has been met with. But it's a day that Kildare, they always create, Joanne. I think it's a day that Kildare could catch fire today and actually put up a big score.
And when you say catch fire in relation to Kildare, many people automatically think of what Daniel Flynn can do when he gets in the ball and in weather like this, Sean.
Yeah, he's been a guy, and even in an underperforming Kildare team for the last 10 years, every time you watch him, he's a physical freak. The power, the pace, the finishing ability, the ability to score goals is up there with the best in the country. And he's really suffered, given the fact that Kildare as a county haven't been motoring. But Kildare has all the, you look at Daniel Flynn, Kerwin, David Hyland's brilliant defenders, some individually, some brilliant players, but as a team they've always struggled, and that's where I see Limerick having the opportunity to cut. To me, they look like much more of a team, and coming into a national final, sometimes that can tip the edge on a hot day with a lot of expectation on Kildare. I think this one will be closer than we expect.
Do you think that's still fair to say of Kildare since Brian Flanagan has come in?
No, I think he's trying to build confidence and belief. You look at Meath and the quality players have been there, Joanne. They've been performing on a minor and under 20 level in Leinster. And I really do think today is about confidence building. They won ugly here the last day. They have those quality players that looked edgy in bad weather conditions. It's a dry ball today. They have to go for it early. If Limerick smell there's a doubt psychologically in Kildare, they'll be there at bouts, they'll hang in there because they have enough quality. But as I said, you will expect likes of Alex Byrne. Daniel Flynn can be a little bit inconsistent. He needs to be smarter using the ball rather than run into the channels when he doesn't have support runners and stuff like that. But it's the likes of Ryan Sinky, Colin Dalton, they've added a lot to the forward line. And then I also think in the middle of the park, I think they'll have that little bit more mobility on the ground, and the likes of Kevin Feely and young Brendan Gibbons. I think they'll be a little bit more mobile in terms of getting up the pitch. And watch for the likes of Feely going in full forward as well. He will be dangerous potentially on the end of a few long kick balled in.
Yeah, and at the semi-final actually told us, he was talking to us about that after the game, about the going in and going out of the full forward line, and that it is a lot of hard work. He was saying that in heavy rain. What about in this absolutely blazing sun? Tomich Bruglach Rainish August Moss Míleh Tutrocht up the fall Osquelga Freshen Air Serview on RT News Channel August Air and RT Player. But our commentary team here for this Tailteann Cup final 2025, it's Offaly's Nigel Dunn alongside Marty.
Thank you very much, Joanne, and indeed it's very warm here. Temperatures reaching 29 degrees, so it's going to be a real challenge for the footballers of Kildare and Limerick. And what a unique occasion to see two counties here that we wouldn't normally see parading behind the Tailteann band in Croke Park, and what is for them a very prestigious and important event, the Tailteann Cup final. And if you look at Limerick, they won the very first All-Ireland Senior Football Championship in 1887. They did it again in 1896, and they haven't won the All-Ireland or the Munster Championship in 129 years. And here they are parading in Croke Park on this beautiful hot July Sunday. And of course Kildare also have a rich history. Last All-Ireland for them was 1928. They won the Leinster title in 2000, and they never won the league. Neither county won the league. So the Tailteann Cup would be a huge, huge achievement for both counties. It is Limerick against Kildare in the sweltering heat of Croke Park. Nigel.
Yeah, Kildare are where they would have expected to be at the start of the year, Marty. They were hotly tipped from day one to be in the Tailteann Cup final. Limerick have exceeded a lot of people's expectations, but maybe not their own. I read a great article from Maurice Brosnan there this morning, gave a great insight to how meticulous they are in their preparations. Limerick are in with more than a fighting chance here, and I can't wait for it, to be honest.
We're looking at the match referee, that's Liam Devaney from Mayo. He's from Ballina. Stephen Knights, Division 2 League final referee in 2023. As we look at the Limerick goalkeeper, Josh Ryan from Ula, going back in, and waiting along the sideline is Emmett Reiter. He'll be dropping into the pitch in just as the ball throws in. It's the Tailteann Cup final. Limerick playing from right to left as we look at it. In other words, from the Davin end down towards Hill 16. Kildare get the ball straight from the throw in, and going forward is David Hyland. Hyland from a thigh, giving it off to Kevin Feely, the captain. Two Thai boys getting the first touch here in Croke Park. Over towards Caelan Bolton. Waiting for it over this side is Tommy Gill. Very important that Limerick settle early, as it is indeed for Kildare, but certainly Kildare will be a little bit more used to Croke Park on big occasions over the years. Bolton from the Sarsfields Club in Newbridge thought about going forward, but on this occasion Darren O'Doherty stays goal side of him. Thought about a two-pointer, decides against it. Quick ball inside as Kildare play around and try and spread Limerick wide in the opening stages, and it just Ryan Sinky just took his eye off it, and Limerick win the ball back, and they go solo and goal. One of the major advantages of the new football rules committee that we're all now accustomed to. Strange early in the year, but we're all have bought into it. It's wonderful. Here comes the left half forward, that's Danny Neville. Stopped in his tracks on this occasion. Good defending by Kildare. They come away with, the referee says advantage. He's his arm outstretched momentarily. Goes long on this occasion up to that 20-metre line. Twisting and turning is Ryan Sinky from Naas, giving it back outside towards Ryan Burke. Harry O'Neill, two clubmates from Cara, over towards Alex Byrne, and they spread it wide back in front of the Cusack. Over there is Colm Dalton. Quick ball inside, giving a ball inside. Then there's an opportunity here, and that is gone over the bar. Good score.
And I think, Marty, that's exactly what Kildare would have wanted. Alex Byrne, who was quiet by his own standards the last day, isolated in a 1v1 over on the Cusack stand side, and he's lethal when he's going at his man one-on-one. He showed great footwork and great composure.
Limerick get the kick out moving and try and get back into the Kildare half of the field. They just got in there momentarily. Surviving the challenge is Paul Maher. Looking around to see who's making the run. I can tell you that Peter Nash is trying to get away from his marker. One man full forward line just momentarily. That's now changed. Ball is spread across over towards Killian Fahy.
Both teams, Marty, at the moment seem very happy to have slow phased attacks. They're not looking to kick the transition. They're looking to handball it up to the 45, and I don't know whether it's to give everyone an early touch to settle nerves or to just reserve energy, but it's slow paced at the moment.
Killian Ryan from Mungret St. Paul's laying the ball off over towards Ian Corbett. Really good footballer, I have to say, for Limerick. Centre half back from Newcastle West. Nice layoff towards Tony McCarthy, and that's over the bar. In his 21st match for Limerick, secondary school teacher from Kildare Pallaskenry puts Limerick on the score sheet for the very first time.
And he did a big jump with his two fists in the air. It's a signal to his teammates that they're ready for this. He was brilliant, and he scored in the semi-final. His first touch today, he lands a brilliant score.
James McGrath. Caelan Bolton. Number 10 is Colm Dalton. Looking around to see who's available. Caelan Bolton again. Giving it over towards Tommy Gill.
what you're looking at here, Marty, is Kildare have very little options inside. Brendan Gibbons has gone in as a sole man inside. He's standing, it's only to occupy space. He's not actually looking for the ball. So Kildare can do nothing more than what they're doing at the moment, which is walk and pace, hand passing the ball 3 yards left and right. I know they're trying to set up maybe Alex Byrne isolation on the far side, but it's a little bit predictable, and Limerick will be happy enough.
An effort at a two-pointer. Oh, it's a great effort. It is superb. What a kick.
I say Limerick will be happy enough, and then Kevin Feely goes and produces a moment of magic, and that's why he's the brilliant player that he is. He's seen that they were maybe a little bit ponderous. He took on the responsibility, and that is an outstanding score.
Mark is given. Comes to Cillian Fahey. Gets by first challenge. Laying it off to Danny Neville. Just on the edge of the day, and Limerick respond magnificently with a superb effort off the boot of Emmy Richter. Good score from the corner forward from Newcastle West.
And Marty, he's extremely talented. He has a heavily strapped left quad. He got injured the last day. He was out centre forward. He's probably going to stay closer to goal if he's carrying a bit.
Limerick defender committed himself. The goalkeeper deals with it. Quite cool under pressure is Josh Ryan. To Tony McCarthy. It's all right for a defender to attack the ball when it's coming in, but you got to make sure. Danny Neville. Nice ball inside towards Peter Nash. Nice turn, quick hands, laying it off. Great save. Brilliant by Cian Burke. Still danger. Back in the net. Limerick get the goal. Cillian Fahey at the end of it. And half of Limerick County must be in Croke Park. That is a huge response, both on the field and off the field. Brilliantly saved by Cian Burke. Ball comes back outside, and it was a rocket into the back of the Kildare net.
Outstanding football by Limerick. The first pop pass inside, Peter Nash rolls around the back of his man, hands it off to the runner. A brilliant save by Cian Burke, but it's all in vain as Limerick have a goal, and it's a brilliant start for the treaty men.
Cian Burke goes for distance, punched down into the middle of the field, but there's not one but two Limerick players. That will give them huge confidence. Brilliant goal by the Drumculloher Broadford player. Great club. Back out to Fahey again. Looking around at the options. Back out far as Ian Corbett. Taking on his marker. Thought about giving it. Does. Then the effort. The kicking by Limerick is very impressive in the opening 7 minutes. Look at this for the build-up. Beautiful patience. Beautifully balanced shot at the end of it. This was the goal a moment ago. Brilliant save, I have to say, by Cian Burke. Here comes Cillian Fahey. Unstoppable. Into the corner of the net. Limerick won 3. Kildare 3 points. We have a very exciting opening 7 minutes in this Tailteann Cup final. Now here comes Kildare. Ryan Sinky having an effort, but the ball has gone to the wrong side of the post and wide.
And this is where Kildare have to be careful, because they can tend to shoot themselves in their foot with the way we're shooting. And if Limerick are on form like they're on form, Kildare's going to have to be ruthless in front of post, and pot shots like that isn't going to help their case.
Emmett Richter to Paul Peter Nash. Limerick interchange. I must say, when Peter Nash comes out around the 45-metre line, immediately Cillian Fahey goes to the edge of the square. Here's James Naughton. Paul Maher from Adair. Limerick have physical strength. Surely that's a free, but it's not in the eyes of the referee.
Ryan Burke is following James Naughton everywhere, and there's a little bit of wrestling going off the ball, but it's just James has been somewhat quiet in the early doors, but it's because Ryan has a handful of his jersey at times. He's keeping a good eye on him.
Dara Kerwin feeding Daniel Flynn. Cullum Dalton giving it back outside to Alex Byrne. Good work by Tommy Gill. He's going for a two-pointer. This is dropping in, but it's dropping to the left and wide off the boot of Daniel Flynn. Second wide of the match for Kildare.
That'll just suck away the energy again at Kildare. I think the shot was on. I think Daniel Flynn, as good a kicker as he is, that shot is on, but it still sucks the confidence out of Kildare a little bit. They're going with a bit of a press here, Marty. They're 4 in the full forward line, 3 banks of 4. Josh Ryan will go to clear it, I'd imagine, yeah.
Josh Ryan goes for distance. Wonderful fielding by Tommy Childs from Galtee Gales on the foot of the magnificent Galtee Mountains, coming through the centre. Ball comes loose and available. Nicely picked up, twisting, turning. Peter Nash laying it off. Here comes the shot from Killian Fahy, but the ball is wide. And there is, I have to say, we haven't had a chance because this has been an exhilarating start to this Tailteann Cup final. There is a swirling breeze. It's quite windy up here on the 7th floor, but I'm watching the flags on the pitch and it would seem to be favouring Kildare in this opening half, Nigel.
It appears that way, it does, and it does swirl around in Croke Park, so it is hard to gauge from up here, but it does seem like it's favouring Kildare. I'm just looking, Marty, at Tommy Childs. He said during the week he's loving the new rules. He's fetching ball, he's tracking runs, he's involved in all the play, he's kicked a great score, so he definitely is enjoying his day so far.
Tommy Gill to James McGrath, 2 of the half-back line. Over for Alex Byrne, taking on his opponents. Darren O'Doherty did well, good defending by Limerick. Pressure is being shouted, as you might hear in the background. We can even hear it up here. Keep the pressure on. It ends up with Derek Kerwin. He's going for the two-pointer. Oh, he hits an absolute beauty. Second two-pointer for Kildare. Each one of them were absolutely laced with class.
That's a brilliant kick, and Darabi, both feet, that was left-footed shot over the bar, and we've seen how important the two-pointers are all year. So Limerick have played most of the football, but if Kildare keep their two-point shooting on, it actually won't matter.
Josh Ryan again goes for distance, trying to fist it on. Breaking ball will favour Kildare. This is at ties James McGrath. Back into the centre. Kildare primarily with a two-man full forward line at the moment, who are making runs across the Davin goalposts in front of Josh Ryan. Limerick seem to have the situation under control as Caelan Bolton goes forward. On his shoulders, Derek Kerwin. Kerwin had the runner inside from Alex Byrne, and Derek Kerwin fooled them all. He's going for the fisted effort, difficult angle, but he scores a good point. It's his 3rd point of the match, two-pointer and a single point. The full forward from Naas is playing rather well.
He's playing very well, and it's ominous for Limerick when Derek Kerwin is the definition of a confidence player. He can be, it's thrown at him at times that he's inconsistent, but crucially today, Marty, he's 2 scores on the board. Mark McCarthy's an excellent defender, but he's going to have to get really tight to Darren now.
Sides are level for the second time. Breaking ball favours the big man Tommy Childs. Just outside Mitchelstown, won the Limerick Intermediate Championship a few years ago. He, under severe pressure, he needed to deliver that ball a lot faster. Kevin Feely laying it off over towards Callum Bolton. Good pressure by Limerick, I have to say. They're putting in the hard work, particularly in their half-forward line.
Limerick have a 5-man press here. They're kind of going man-on-man, Marty, in the middle of the field. Now they're dropping off ever so slightly, and Kildare will get it up to just outside the arc again.
Nice ball inside. Callum Bolton got a heavy knock. Limerick look a little bit exposed. Great turn, there's a touch on that's required, and the touch is saved on the goal line on the 2nd occasion. A bit of dithering and dathering, and indeed the clearance is not a great one. Can they punish the error? Yes, they can. Should have been cleared better, but it could have been worse from a Limerick perspective. But Kevin Feely will be happy with the point.
Kildare attack reminded me of the Cork hurlers, Marty, last week. There was a lot of one-touch tennis-style play. Limerick will be disappointed once they cleared the initial danger to give away the point, but like you said, it very easily could have ended up in the net, so they'll count their blessings.
Tony McCarthy saving on the goal line. He's already got a point to his credit. Kick out is long, but good fielding by Kildare as they go forward again. Going for the long ball. Nice combination up front. The gap has opened up. Here comes the shot. Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Alex Byrne. He's already scored 2 goals and 31 points in the Tailteann Championship campaign. This is his 3rd goal, but it's an absolute brilliant piece of work.
This guy is an amazing talent, Marty. He did it for Naas against Coola and Newbridge last winter. He's done it here again today. Every time he goes on his man, it's danger. He's brilliant.
Two centre-half forwards have scored a goal apiece. Both of them cracking efforts to really get the crowd that's in for this Tailteann Cup final onto their feet. Kildare growing in confidence now, leading by 4 points.
Marty, the composure of Alex Byrne there, not to put the boot through it and just side-foot it into the corner. It was an amazing finish from 20 yards out to side-foot it into the corner. Josh Ryan couldn't get to it.
Derek Kerwin, who's been very influential in the early stages. A shot from outside the 20-metre line is going to go wide of the target. Third wide of the match for Kildare. For Brian Flanagan, he'll be well pleased that after 14 minutes the Lily Whites have taken control and lead by 4. Well, Jimmy Lee will be equally a little bit concerned because they have been playing well, Nigel, and the goal by Cillian Fahy was a massive boost.
Limerick have been playing really well, Marty, but crucially Kildare are now starting to win the battle in the midfield, and Gibbons and Feely are really coming into their own.
Brilliant catch by Kevin Feely. We have 2 goals and 10 points scored in this match, all of them from play. There's more coming. An opportunity to register the 8th point of the game for Kildare has been achieved. They're looking very, but look, it all started here. Magnificent fielding by Kevin Feely, laying it off quickly, and putting that over the bar was Daniel Flynn.
For how many years, Marty, has Kevin Feely been fielding ball like that? I seen him here one time in Leinster final over the great Brian Fenton outfielding him. He set up a great score. Daniel Flynn is now on the scoreboard. That's only positive for him. Like I said, he's a confidence player, but Kevin Feely is just some bit of stuff, and it's great to see him display his talents here in a national final.
The break in play may give the Limerick manager Jimmy Lee an opportunity to reconsider his forces here, as Kildare seem to be coming to terms with the midfield challenge. Brilliant combination, but what a shot by Alex Byrne. Beautiful, absolutely unstoppable, and side-footing it in to the corner of the net past Josh Ryan. Brilliant.
Limerick have had a chance now to gather themselves. All the momentum was with Kildare. So yeah, they have a guy down injured, and Tommy Childs is hobbling a little bit here, but the rest of the players will have time to reassess what's after going on in the last 6 or 7 minutes. A chance for them to catch their breath, maybe to overload one area, Marty, get hands on ball in the middle of the field, or they're going to be yet alive here.
Tailteann Cup, where's it going to end up this evening? Will it go to Leinster, to Kildare, to the Lily Whites, or will it go to Munster, Shannon side? Clearly Tommy Childs has received a knock, and he needs some medical attention on the field immediately. And Limerick are introducing a substitute, and that looks like Sean Clancy that's coming in. We'll have Barry Coleman. It is actually Barry Coleman that's after coming in, and he's in for Tommy Childs. But Tommy is a pivot of this Limerick side of midfield, so his departure we will wait and see. But Kildare's fielding in the middle of the field is superb. Good work by Kilcock's Brendan Gibbons. Gone forward over towards Colm Dalton. Salon's man looking around, see who's available. Just to tell you, we've been informed from the sideline that that's a blood substitution, so hopefully Tommy Childs will return shortly. Meanwhile, the centre-half back is David Hyland, looking around to see who's available. And as Kildare go forward again, backfires Derek Kerwin. Tailteann Cup All-Star back in 2024. On the overlap is Daniel Flynn. He scored one with a fist. This one is just outside the post and wide. For Kildare's 4th wide of the game.
Kildare's 4th wide of the game, Marty, but what I will say is they are still keeping up that dominance in the middle of the field, and Gibbons and Feely have their mojo, so they're going to keep getting attacks, but they would want to make hay while the sun shines.
Josh Ryan again goes for distance, picked up on this occasion by Adair's Paul Maher. Giving it back for as James Naughton. Naughton looking around for support from outside. It arrives in the shape of Barry Coleman. It's 10 minutes since, almost 10 minutes since Limerick scored the last time. So they really need to get a score to gain a bit of confidence. Gone forward over towards Hill 16, and the Cusack stand is Peter Nash. Has to come back outside. Quick little 1-2, trying to see if they can play the ball around and try and open up this Kildare defence. Defending at the Hill 16 end. Making a run is Tony McCarthy. Better option is James Naughton. Danny Neville getting inside the cover. Great work by Neville. Now he shoots out here. Miscued completely. He did all the hard work. He did all the effort to get past the challenges and just miscued the shot completely. Physical strength got him through the Kildare sandwich, but just the shot was a bit wayward.
And Limerick need Danny Neville doing that, eyeing up two guys, going through the middle of them. They obviously, Marty, need him wrapping the foot round it and taking the score when it's on. But I think Paul Maher there that time, Marty, when they won the initial breaking ball from the kick out, there was a kick pass on to Peter Nash inside. He was 1-on-1.
Colm Dalton, potentially one of Kildare's best players this season. He's really developed over the last 7 or 8 months. Daniel Flynn, we all know about from Johnstown Bridge, joined the panel 10 years ago. Hogan Cup medalist with Eden Derry back in 2012. Here's Colm Bolton thinking about jinking inside. Derek Kerwin has been outstanding so far, and that is straight between the posts for his second two-pointer. He is very impressive, this Derek Kerwin.
He's an elite kicker, Marty, but what I will say from a Limerick defensive point of view, they're going to have to push their defensive screen out a little bit, because Kildare are on it with their two-point shooting today. So Limerick's going to have to step out 3 or 4 yards and make it a little bit more difficult.
Tommy Childs is back on. That's good news from a Limerick perspective. Again, the kick out goes long. Plenty of green and white jerseys there to pick it up. One of them is Paul Maher. Gone inside if he needs him, and he does, is the aforementioned Tommy Childs. Can they produce something? Oh, the pass is terrible. It could still work out for Limerick. Over the left shoulder, and it scrapes the paint off the crossbar, but it'll register a point. Good score by Emmett Richter. That's their first point in 11.5 minutes, and they really had to work hard, didn't they? 1-10, 1-4.
They really did have to work hard, and they got a huge stroke of luck there with the ball ricocheting back to get the score, because it was a simple hand pass that was given away carelessly.
2 goals and 14 points on the scoreboard. Not one free so far. It's really an indication of the quality game we're having here. All scores from play. Nice little footwork by Danny Neville. Oh, Danny Neville. Wonderful, beautiful skill. Makes up for the wayward shot. You're forgiven, Danny, all the way down in Limerick as well.
But this guy is fabulously talented, Marty. The shift of the hips left to right. He backed himself after missing an easier chance. He's a real top quality forward, and they need to get him on more ball.
5 points between the teams. Heading towards the 20th minute. Most enjoyable Tailteann Cup final, I must say. And the referee has blown his whistle for Cian Burke delaying too long, and this is going to be a decision that I'm sure will be a talking point. Cian Burke is saying, I didn't hear you, but he probably delayed.
He over-delayed, Marty, but what I will say is Cian Burke went short on the previous kick-out when they clearly have the upper hand in midfield. He went short to probably try and draw Limerick in so he could go longer on the next couple, but what happened is Limerick get a score. Now he's delayed on the kick-out, so the momentum now has been broken by Limerick, and they'll be delighted with that.
Made one great save already. Although Killian Fahey got the rebound and rocketed into the net. This is James Naughton from St. Senan's, down around beautiful Foynes, that area. And he sends that over the bar for his first point in this match. That's the first free as well. I know I've been highlighting it because it's been wonderful in a game of football of this quality. First free comes after almost 20.5 minutes. 1-10, 1-6. Breaking ball. Oh, brilliant fielding. Kevin Feely. Taking it quickly. Nice ball inside. Here comes Derek Kerwin. Playing well. He's full of confidence. Going for the goal. Didn't really get behind it at all. It was an easy ball for Josh Ryan. But you sense a man in form like that, Nigel, that he'd have got fully behind it, just miscued it.
100%, Marty. And a guy searching for form or searching for confidence would have took the point to get his name on the score sheet, but Derek Kerwin's confidence is already sky high, and he was thinking the onion bag there. And between himself and Kevin Feely, in fairness to them, they're really dragging Kildare here, and they're putting in 2 masterful performances.
Paul Maher, looking around for the options, decides to recycle it back as Limerick retain that possession. Just getting inside the Kildare 45-metre line now is Killian Ryan. Ian Corbett made his debut against Waterford back in 2012, giving great service to the green and white. Nice ball inside over towards Killian Ryan. Emmett Richter calling for this Killian Fahy. He has James Naughton to his left, front of the Hogan. Naughton makes the run, delivered it. Little 1-2 between the centre and full forward. Ups. Ball has to be recovered. Tony McCarthy had just gone forward a little bit, and Limerick will spread it wide off the boot of Danny Neville. Over towards Ian Corbett.
Marty, what I would say about Limerick is they're a really well-structured team, both in attack and defence. Like they clearly know what they're trying to do here. Yes, it can be frustrating, it's a little bit slow paced, but they're trying to keep the middle lane open. But you see how Kildare are wary of that. They have a guy dropping in front. It's fascinating to watch Limerick trying to create the opening they want.
Danny Neville. Over towards Tony McCarthy. Naughton is available. Literally along the sideline, as you can see. Back in first, Killian Fahy. Spreading it wide over towards Killian Ryan. Played Sigerson with UCC. Back first, Mark McCarthy. Killian Fahy and James Naughton are available in front of the Hogan. Here's the goal scorer. Kildare defending well. Paul Maher. Naughton is still available and he'll head on the world tour. Back out towards the right half back, Killian Ryan. Peter Nash. 50-50 ball, which was well won. Laid off, almost lost. Kildare, to their credit, stood firm. Goes into the space, but it's a poor pass from Kildare. Sideline ball for Limerick.
He did the right thing, Marty. The kick pass was the right option. The execution was the poor part of it. But in fairness to him, the guy had made separation. The kick pass was the right route to go down.
Ian Corbett again. Peter Nash. Another one of the more experienced players. He actually started championship in 2015 against Clare in the Munster Championship. Killian Fahy has James Naughton again to his left, now to his right. Fahy sees a bit of a gap. Nice turn by Darrow Hagan. Whoops. Killian Fahy took his eye off it, touched along the ground, and, well, there was a push in the back before that, and that's a free for Kildare.
And the thing, Marty, the slow-paced game probably suits Limerick, but if they're going to do that, they have to make sure they're handling, their soul on the real basics of the game are under control, or it's giving Kildare oxygen.
Long ball, one man up. And Josh Ryan is off his goal line as well. Killian Ryan, Limerick regained the possession. Ian Corbett lays it back towards Danny Neville. Nice ball inside for Mark McCarthy. Oh, beautiful. Lovely. Beautiful play. Thinking about the goal. Laying it off. Here comes the shot. Saved by Cian Burke. Not for the first time. The Kildare keeper comes to the Lily Whites' rescue. Beautiful play by Limerick, I have to say. But a superb save by Cian Burke.
That's brilliant save by Cian Burke. But the balance of Danny Neville, Marty, if we seen that in the second game, we'll be raving about it. If David Clifford or Darren McCurry does it, that's a brilliant swivel of the hips. He's so balanced. And the Limerick went for the goal. Cian Burke pulls off another excellent save.
And Killian Fahy, who scored the first goal for Limerick, the only goal so far, had a go again. This time Cian Burke was equal to it. He's a young goalkeeper who was actually the sub-goalkeeper in the under-20 All-Ireland winning team in 2023, but has matured and developed under Brian Flanagan's tutoring and coaching, along with Aidan O'Rourke and Damien Hendy and Darrell Flynn, and now his first-choice keeper. At the opposite end is this man from Ula, Josh Ryan, in his 23rd appearance for his county. Hits it well, hits it, between the post and over the bar. He's already scored 2 goals and 34 points since he first appeared against Clare in the Munster Championship 8 years ago. Encouraging from the sideline is Jimmy Lee. 110, 1-7. Good recovery, I have to say, by Limerick.
Very, very good recovery by Limerick, Marty. And this is the brilliance of the new rules. If Limerick can hang in there, the likes of Josh Ryan with 2-point frees late in the game, they'll have a real chance.
Limerick have now registered 3 points without reply. Not a good pass. Breaks free. Good work by Ian Corbett again, looking around to see where he can lay it off. Limerick going through a period of momentum and indeed dominance. Tony McCarthy has a go, but it curls in the breeze. Third wide of the match for Limerick. 3 points between the teams.
And Mark McCarthy, his namesake in the corner, has let him know maybe Tony, that shot wasn't on. But Tony, in fairness, has backed himself all year. He's got a good few scores. Semi-finally got a few. Today he's got one already. So he fancied himself, obviously.
Kildare now haven't scored since the 18th minute, and Limerick have taken control. Darren O'Doherty, fullback from Newcastle West, looking around to see who's available. James Naughton is the obvious choice. Then it comes back to Darren O'Doherty again. He recycles it for his Darrow Hagan from Mungwit St. Paul's. Fine footballer. Into the centre towards his midfield partner, Tommy Childs. And Limerick happy to recycle it. I think Danny Neville thought there was somebody else behind him, but he had to retreat and get it. He has beautiful skill, this fella. Oh, nice ball inside. And look at the opportunity for Paul Maher. And he sends that between the posts. No, he's not. It's gone wide. It's a real opportunity because Kildare were ball watching.
And very rarely do you get that much space 25 yards out from goal. So Paul Maher will be disappointed with himself. He made a lovely darting off the shoulder run to create space and kind of lose the defender. Danny Neville, look, the ball was a bit on the ground, but he still picked him out, and it should have went over the bar, Marty.
10 minutes now since Kildare scored. Ball is loose and available. Comes back. Good work by Killian Ryan, I have to say. And he gives it over to Tony McCarthy. That half-back line of Killian Ryan, Ian Corbett and Tony McCarthy are impressive. As McCarthy has already scored 1 point, put one astray. He's gone inside into a corner forward position. James Naughton recycles it back for his Killian Fahy. Fahy cools matters down, gives it back for his Darrow Hagan. O'Hagan will spread it wide. Limerick going through a period of dominance. Ian Corbett again is the key player, coming forward from centre half back. Does a bit of a Paddy Clifford, if you know what I mean, from a different position.
100%, Marty. He's like the quarterback. Everything goes through him. He's making the on-field decisions. He's such a quality player with a real good game intelligence. Everything does go through him.
James Naughton, slipping and sliding, has to lay it back quickly. Tony McCarthy. Killian Ryan is there to lend assistance as we head towards the half-hour mark. Danny Neville, I think he was trying to get round him, but that didn't really work. Limerick retained the possession. Paul Maher on the ball, still has the confidence. Going for the score, but that is a bit wayward. It could still work all right. Well kept in by Tony McCarthy. We'll pretend that was a great pass, just to be positive. James Naughton back again to Tony McCarthy. And the fulcrum again is Ian Corbett. Goalkeeper Josh Ryan has already scored from 45. Killian Fahy's right beside him. Should use him, and he does. Peter Nash makes himself available. Again, Ian Corbett is over there, going across that whole 45-metre line, whether it be in front of the Cusick or the Hogan. Corbett is there.
And he's the one, Marty, telling Josh Ryan to come, to stay. And in fairness to Josh Ryan, when he's coming up there, he's coming up with intent. He's played outfield for Limerick before. He knows where the posts are.
Killian Ryan, nice ball inside to Tony McCarthy. Could score from here. And as I said, hold on now. This might. Oh, Peter Nash gets a fist to it, but the ball, I think, had gone out over the. Oh, he's given referee. He's given a free. Referee blown a whistle. And the free is just on the 13-metre line. I think the free was after the ball had been kicked in. Peter Nash taking this from a very acute angle. That gives you a fair idea, as Hill 16 gets fuller and fuller as the afternoon continues on, and that is over the bar. Good score by Peter Nash. This was for the foul, as Tony McCarthy was taking it. It appeared Colm Dalton was fouling the left half back.
Colm Dalton just had the hands on the back there, Marty. Tony McCarthy knew what he was doing, going down and maybe making more of it. But Peter Nash takes the free. It's over. Marty, this has been a really enjoyable Tailteann Cup final. Both teams, in fairness, are playing within the spirit of the rules. They're really going at it. It's been really, really enjoyable.
And there's only 2 points between them. 110 Kildare, 1-8 Limerick. Nice ball down towards Ryan Sinky. Kildare, that's what he's saying, is cool matters down. That's Alex Byrne, because they need a period of time when they play the ball around a little bit more. Comes over to Tommy Gill. Came on against Westmeath in the Leinster quarter-final and certainly changed the game. Back over first, David Hyland on the under-21 team that lost to Dublin back in 2015. Here comes the shot at the end of it all. And it's a good score. First score for Kildare since the 18th minute.
And Colm Dalton, who gave away the free with the hand on the back, he's not long repaying his teammates with a brilliant score off his left foot.
It's his first point of the match, and it gives Limerick a little bit more to do, and it gives Kildare a 3-point advantage. 111 to 1-8. Josh Ryan goes for distance again, aiming for Darrow Hagan. Oh, well done, Darrow Hagan. Lays it off first, James Naughton. They have players available. Paul Maher, Naughton gives it wide, opportunity here. Right man, right place, Danny Neville shoots. Does he score? The umpire says no. That's 2 real golden opportunities for Paul Maher and Danny Neville. And when you're only, 3 points behind, every kick has to be hit the target.
And they're the bread and butter, Marty. They're the ones straight in front of the goals, 25 yards out. So I know all the moments of magic are really pleasurable and us watching, but you have to nail them ones.
A race for possession. Alex Byrne get there first, and then on the turn. Oh, that's a lovely piece of work by Alex Byrne. That's a goal and a point. He had to work hard for it. He was a Hogan Cup finalist with Naas CBS back in 2019. Scored a great goal against Westmeath as he did here today, and that's his first point in the match. And it gives Kildare a 4-point advantage. They too have responded and showed a bit of character, haven't they?
Both teams are responding. Every time one team throws a punch, the team responds excellently.
Here comes Danny Neville, almost unable to control it. Gets it past Peter Nash. Nice turn. Can he find a target? Yes, he can. There's no doubt whatsoever. It's his second point of the game. It's ebbing and flowing. Momentum swinging from the Lily Whites to the Shannon Siders right throughout this opening 34 minutes. 112 Kildare, 1-9 Limerick.
And I think when the Limerick forwards are playing off instinct, Marty, and they don't have time to think on the ball, when they get time to think, they're hesitating on their shooting. But when they're just twist, turn and shoot, they seem to be a lot more confident in themselves.
And a compliment to Kildare as well. A goal and 12 points and every single score coming from play. And Limerick just 1-8 from play. Meanwhile, it's Kildare on the attack. Kildare man down injured as they go forward. It comes for as Alex Byrne. Derek Kerwin is the player down injured. Opportunity, and oh, great work, Limerick. Superb defending, I have to say. And the hooter will sound, but Limerick will try and retain the possession. Coming forward with it is Paul Maher. Paul Maher is in a little bit of no man's land there, but he's going to try and get past the first player. Succeeds in doing so. Won't get past him the second time. Ball is still available, and Kildare now have the initiative. They're down to 14 players at the moment. Hooter has been sounded, and Limerick are back there, trying to get back there now in numbers. They're trying to get a score. It's Ryan Sinky getting an opportunity, and he puts that between the post and over the bar. An interesting development in the final seconds of this opening half. Limerick had the possession. Paul Maher decided to go for it, but he lost the possession, and a good score by Ryan Sinky, and it gives Kildare a little numerical advantage of 113 to 1-9.
The work rate of Daniel Flynn there. Paul Maher took him on, he eyed him up, he said Daniel Flynn's a forward who's not going to tackle me. Daniel Flynn took insult to that, chased him back, got a brilliant hand in. Sinky finishes the move, and now Kildare go in with a 4-point lead. Been a brilliant half of football.
Derek Kerwin has been the player that's down injured, and he's already scored 5 points. But what a game we're having. Very enjoyable, I have to say. 2 goals in the first half. Killian Fahy in the 6th minute getting the first for Limerick, and Alex Byrne getting a goal after 13 minutes. Overall, twice level. Intriguing contest. Half-time, Kildare 1 goal and 13 points. Limerick 1 goal and 9 at half-time.
SuperValue believe in community, and community includes everyone.
RedClick Home Insurance includes emergency home repair with a dedicated 24-hour helpline. You're covered for up to 4 call-outs a year without affecting your no-claims bonus. It's a helping hand you can count on. RedClick. Home insurance that just clicks.
Get the Samsung Galaxy S24 or the all-new Galaxy S25 with 3. Plus, trade in your old phone and we'll give you an extra €100 on top of its trade-in value. Now that's a big deal. Switch in store or see 3.ie today. 3, Ireland's best network.
With 120 Santa Rita, we're looking for travellers to join us at a wonderful destination. Are you one of them? Scan this code and win a trip to Easter Island in Chile. 120 gets you there.
The €8 meal deal from McDonald's. Cheeseburger or mayo chicken, fries, 4 chicken McNuggets and a drink for guess what? That's right, €8.
Oh yeah, number 6. And one of those, please.
Forgot this.
Love you, Dad.
There's a glass and a half in everyone. You might think you know Ireland's ancient East, but maybe it's time for a closer look. An extraordinary glimpse of the oldest of stories. A taste of excitement. To walk in step with history and raise our spirits with old friends and new.
I can't believe there's Vikings in Mexico. I know, it's mad, isn't it?
Keep discovering Ireland's ancient East.
Need broadband?
You're grand.
This works off 5G. It doesn't need cables.
You just plug it in and you're good to go.
It's some speed.
What if we threw in a landline? It's wireless.
There is another way to broadband. 3 5G home broadband from €20 a month for up to 12 months.
I think I left my bank card somewhere.
Did you lose it last night?
What? I said, did you lose it last night? Told you not to trust that little guy.
Oh, I thought he was sound.
Gab!
I'll just freeze on the app, so. There you are, you goose.
Relax with a Bank of Ireland current account. Get started today.
We've seen a little bit of everything in this Tailteann Cup final. It's still very close between Limerick and Kildare. Goals have proved important. So have 2-pointers, and so have the midfield battle as always, and hanging in there as Limerick certainly are doing. This one is still up for grabs, even though it is that man's team who are on top at half-time. So the 2025 Tailteann Cup final at the break sees Kildare leading 113-19, but still anybody's, isn't it, Moss?
Yeah, it's a very enjoyable match, Joanne. I didn't expect Limerick, I'll be quite honest about it, to be as organised as they were. They started off well, but then Kildare dominated, kicked 1-7 on the trot, and then lost the kind of dominance around middle of the field. Limerick just ran at them and caused consternation in their defence. So with only 4 points in it, and the rules and the nature of the rules, there's nothing in this game at all. I'm very impressed with Limerick, but at the same time, you just feel there's another gear in Kildare if they were more direct, if they they moved the ball that little bit quicker. If they weren't that as much cautious as they are, they probably have created more chances than Limerick, but Limerick certainly have taken what they've got, even with a couple of misses. So a very, very enjoyable first half.
The interesting thing with that, Tomas, and we're sitting right behind Brian Flanagan. Brian Flanagan's constantly shouting, press, move the ball quicker, but the players just don't respond, and I think that's the infuriating thing with Kildare. We can all see the style they have and the 2-point scores and the bursting breaks of play that breaks the lines, but they just don't do it often.
The only thing on that, John, I think Ian Corbett is playing, he's kind of sitting in that pocket in front of the full forward line. He's cutting off a lot of the run sometimes, so sometimes the kick pass hasn't been. I think Limerick are very organised defensively, and once they slow Kildare on that first ball, once you slow them the first time, then they're very organised defensively.
Is it not a case that they're very organised all round, which was kind of shown by the goal they got so early on too?
Yeah, no, they have been very organised. They started great, they had a bad patch, but it's almost a bit like, for me, it's like a style versus substance, and Limerick has this substance. They've been dominating the breaks. Peter Nash inside, look at the movement here. He goes one way, then the other, lays it off, goal chance there, but this typifies everything. Cillian Fahy pulls that ball out of the sky, finishes brilliantly, but the Kildare defence is awful. There's no one putting their bodies on the line. There's no one reading the play. You can see the movement here of Nash. He's been brilliant all half at this. He's knitted the whole forward line together. There's that little bit of movement. His teammates obviously know that he's capable of it. Laid it off, good enough save, but it's here. At this point, the Kildare defence has to get themselves between Cillian Fahy and the goal, and they just don't do it. And that's the game, the first half in a nutshell. Limerick have fought like dogs, won the breaking ball. Kildare have taken their high field and catches and their lovely 2-point plays, and they've all sat around the 2-point perimeter. But Limerick has that substance with them, which, with the wind at the back in the second half, could really see them through.
Well, when Kildare were on that 1-7 run, you just turned around and said they are just such a confidence team.
Yeah, and you felt when they went 1-10 to 1-3 up, they were really in a dominant position, and you'd be critical of them for letting that slide and let Limerick come down and get 5 points on the bounce. And it kind of started. They're very sluggish in the first 5-10 minutes, but once they took over in the middle of the park, it kind of started with Feely kicking this score, and then they just started to mix it up. They started to find pockets. Alex Byrne is playing in that inside full forward line. You can see it's the first time they get a quick pop pass in. They move it quickly. He gets a great 1-2, and what a finish! Outside of 14. Beats Josh Ryan into the corner, and it was just, you can see here, it's perfect. Limerick are always trying to get that +1. They're protecting corner of the D, but that 1-2 just opens it up, and he's able to slot it into the bottom. And they went on from there, Joanne, and really they had their foot on them. Gibbons and Feely were winning clean ball. I think they've won 12 clean balls around the middle, but as Sean said, Limerick have been more hungrier on the breaks. And this, I suppose, it's the frustration with Kildare that you feel when they get, this is Daniel Flynn, he's had a mixed half, he's had a couple of misses, but that's the power, that's what he can do, drive straight at a man. So, for me, you have to give huge credit for Limerick in terms of how they started the game, but particularly the resilience they showed when they went 1-10 to 1-3 down, to come back and get 5 scores, get themselves right back into the game, and a lot of their forwards are causing a lot of trouble.
A massive second half ahead, and of course next week is big. You could be here too.
RT Sport want to give you the chance to win 2 tickets to this year's All-Ireland Senior Hurling Final. Along with those all-important match tickets, you'll also be collected from wherever you are in the country and whisked to Dublin for the game. You'll also be treated to a 2-night stay at the stylish Croke Park Hotel, located just steps away from the historic and world-famous Croke Park Stadium, the perfect place to soak up that pre-match atmosphere. There's champagne on arrival, breakfast each morning and dinner on both nights in the hotel's stunning restaurant, The Hawthorn. Find out more at doylecollection.com. And to top off your weekend in Dublin, there's €1,000 to spend too. For your chance to win, answer this question. Which of these is the current manager of the Tipperary senior hurling team? Is it John Kiley, Pat Ryan or Liam Cahill? To enter, call 15 17 71 71 74 or text the word GAME followed by your answer into name to 57886. Maximum cost per entry is €2.50. You must be over 18 to enter. Lines will close at midday on Monday, July 14th. Full details are on rte.ie/competitions, where the lucky winner will also be revealed.
And for those of you who don't manage to get hold of a golden ticket, we have you covered. The 2025 All-Ireland Hurling Final, Cork against Tipperary, live in the Sunday game from 2:15 on RT2.
The
We're going to be back with the second half, Limerick against Kildare in the Tailteann Cup final in just a couple of moments.
AIB, proud sponsors of the All-Ireland Senior Football Championship.
Welcome to The Traitors.
I'm not a traitor, I swear on everything.
The Traitors UK, US and Australia. Streaming now on RTE Player.
New Senstein Clinical Repair is absolutely the one I would use. It starts to work within 2 minutes from the very first brush to create an actual layer which helps to repair the sensitive part of the tooth. Iced coffee, ice cream, lots of things could be back on the menu. I really would recommend Senstein Clinical Repair.
What brings us out for our county, year after year after year, that stirs such passion in our hearts and makes the pride flow through our veins? It's our county. It's our people. It's in our blood.
Hey! I'll be back in a second. Oh, you love them.
Be sweeter than the sweetest with the new Lynx Fine Fragrance Collection.
Right. Match Saturday. Recovery Sunday. Gym Monday.
Johnny B. Lee? What are you doing in my bath? Saving a few bob in the energy. You know yourself, man. Just switch to Board Gosh Energy. That'll save you a few quid. I'll keep that in mind.
Board Gosh Energy, proud sponsor of the GA All-Ireland Senior Hurling Championship. Have you room for one more, lads?
The latest Woodie's mega deals have dropped. Get the Karcher K2 pressure washer, now only €129. And even more mega deals. The outdoor storage box, now €100. And the Flymo lawnmower with trimmer for only €109. But hurry, Woodie's mega deals are only while stocks last. Woodie's, we're all homemakers.
Full fibre broadband from just €35 a month for 12 months.
Harvey Norman, your furniture specialist. Explore our extensive collection of customizable sofas and stylish dining furniture. Combine comfort and sophistication with a beautiful Petra Corner sofa for $2,299. Experience comfort at the touch of a button with the Alec full leather power recliner for $2,199. Cater for small and large parties with the highly extending dining table for $1,225. Shop our full range in-store or online. With interest-free finance terms available, why wait? Harvey Norman, your furniture specialist.
Go!
Same again? Definitely. Midweek match? Definitely. For the grand old stretch? Definitely. The best tasting 0-0 beer in the world? Probably.
SuperValue believe in community. And community includes everyone.
The first of our All-Ireland football semi-finalists are now here. The feeling around this Kerry team quite different than it was when they were arriving here 2 weeks ago. Of course, an unanswered 14 points in just 16 minutes against the All-Ireland champions can have that effect. And so that makes these men the underdogs this evening, but such titles mean very little in this championship. Tyrone may not have sparkled throughout the dismantling of Dublin, but they got the job done, and you do get the sense that they have more in them. Kerry against Tyrone in the first of this year's All-Ireland football semi-finals is coming up at 5 o'clock. Tomos, we can see that the Limerick team have arrived in here behind us. You have talked about how if Kildare could just get their house in order that they could go to town. But are you actually expecting even more from Limerick again in this second half as well?
Yeah, I'd imagine in the Limerick dressing room, you win ball around the middle of the field, they're causing them desperate problems up front, Joanne, and they're running at Kildare, and Kildare aren't getting set. I've been very impressed with some of the scores that they've got in that first half, and if they continue that in the second half, I'd say that they're well in this. I know Kildare have hit a couple of two-pointers, and I know that You know, Kildare will probably want to impress more around the middle of the field themselves, but you with Danny Neville having a huge game, James Naughton, Emmett Richter, Tony McCarthy at wing back for Limerick. So I would imagine that the war cry in the Limerick dressing room at half-time is win your battle at midfield, get your own kick-outs off, try to crack Kildare that little bit more, and I'm telling you Limerick will be in it.
And I think, Joanne, where they've got a great chance is that swirling wind that's coming in over Hill 16, that kind of swirls to help you down the far end under the Hogan stand side. That was the sweet spot for Kildare. We've been sitting in the middle of the park there, and there's a huge advantage. And if Limerick can get opportunities on that side of the arc and get 2 pointers, they could be well in this game.
OK, they're lining out, so they are ready to go for this second half. Let's head back to Nigel and Marty.
Thanks a million, Joanne. Yes, we are really looking forward to this second half as Callum Bolton comes across the pitch. Jimmy Lee will have advised his players. They do play with a swirling breeze in this second half, and as the lads were saying to Joanne, either 2 pointers have been such an important and integral factor of the championship that 2 pointers could well win this Tailteann Cup. There's a picture that tells its own story, the strength of the breeze.
Absolutely, and two pointers have been the crucial score at all levels in all Gaelic football games this year, and the fact they're so new, the teams that can exploit them are onto a winner, and Kildare have got the benefit of them in the first half, but Limerick have that breeze.
Liam Devaney throws the ball in, and away we go. No changes on either side, and away goes Kildare. They'll want to settle quickly and get a score, and again Limerick with Mark McCarthy going for it, but misses out as Kildare going to overdrive here, trying to get it back outside from Ryan Sinky. Dara Kerwin thankfully has recovered and is fitting well to continue his performance in this second half. Limerick defending. Hill 16 end as we look at it now. David Hyland lays it off quickly over for us Daniel Flynn. Going for the score. It's not a bad effort at all, but it's just outside the post and wide. Disappointment for Daniel Flynn. It remains a 4-point game.
And Kildare loaded the small parallelogram there. They had 5 guys in and created a 1v1 for Daniel, and he kicked it wide.
Fine kick out by Josh Ryan, finding the target. Getting their first attack, getting it as Peter Nash. With a little bit of space. Ball is sent to the right and wide. That's 3 opportunities I put down to Limerick, and this time we've been full of praise for Ian Corbett. You'd be disappointed with that, because for those 3 moments, 2 in the first, 1 in the second, Limerick were unmarked.
Unmarked, and that's what I say, Marty. I often think that they're better when they've less time to think, when it's just happening instinctively.
Breaking ball knocked down into the path of Colm Dalton. Heading over towards Ryan Sinky. Scored 11 points in the Tailteann campaign going into this final. Scored 1 in the first half. He's going for a second. And that is a really good effort. And that, no, yes it is. The flag goes up. And that's over the bar.
And Ryan Sinky was a brilliant underage player, under 20 level for Brian Flanagan, so he's put faith in him. He's been out around the midfield for the 20s. He's inside for the seniors, and he's kicked the second score today.
Brilliant catch by Paul Maher. Ball he probably shouldn't have won, but he did, to his credit. Killian Ryan feeding Emmett Richter. Danny Neville. Beautiful close control that we've seen in the first half. Limerick coming in on the Cusack stand side. Opportunity here. Ball zips over the crossbar. That is Limerick's first point of the second half. Scored by Tony McCarthy.
Tony McCarthy has a lovely habit of ghosting into these positions, and I don't know whether it's because he's coming from so deep on the left-hand side that he kind of lures defences into a false sense of security. James Naughton gave a poor enough hand pass that bounced twice, but Tony made good use of it when he got it.
Keane Burke's kick out, forcing James McGrath into the error. Killian Fahy, the goal scorer in the first half. Paul Maher, back to Fahy. Feeding Peter Nash, but he left it a little bit too tight on this side. Ball is wide. 7 wide of the match for Limerick. 4 points between the teams. Loads of time for Jimmy Lee, manager of Limerick.
often in the early stages of whether it be the first half or the second half, players are more likely to pull the trigger, and as the game goes on, they get very much more cautious with their shot selection.
Good kick out by Cian Burke. Latching on to the breaking ball was Callum Bolton. Alex Byrne, like the centre-half forward in Limerick, has also scored the goal. Great pressure. Referee has now given the free. Ball was thrown to his colleague. The referee saw it. I don't think he could get the whistle to his mouth quickly enough because the players were already protesting. Tony McCarthy looking for the return pass. Now he's available, standing, shooting, and that looks like to be on target for his third point of the game. Playing well at left half back and causing problems created by James Naughton. He was there to support. He gave the ball initially, but he hit it perfectly inside the left-hand post, much to the pleasure of his manager.
And I think half-backs and the way Limerick play are always going to get more shots off, and Tony McCarthy's accurate. Maybe that's why he's playing half-back.
Kildare go for the response between the D and the 40-metre line, and that is a really good score. Full marks on this occasion to Ryan Sinke, getting his third point of the game. Re-establishing that 4-point advantage.
He has a lovely, languid, sweet strike of a ball, Sinke. It looks good, not that that's important, but he looks very stylish kicking the ball, and he's a great bit of stuff, and that's his third.
115 for Kildare, and every one of the scores coming from play. It's an interesting statistic, and certainly for Brian Flanagan and his team, a very pleasurable fact. But they want to win the Champions Cup, whatever was scored from play.
I don't think they'll mind how they score. Marty wants to lift that bit of silverware at the end, but they're on track to do so as we speak.
But it's still very good play from Kildare. Leaping into the air. Ball is handed back, according to the new rules. But the free has been taken in the wrong place. Inside their own 65-metre line. Going to take it is David Hyland. Getting the return was the captain of Kildare under Cian O'Neill. Oops, slipped away. Well won by Mark McCarthy. And Limerick counter-attack with Danny Neville. Heading towards goal. Great burst of speed. Good block down. Just took a little bit too much out of it. Cian Burke out as it.
It was a brilliant block down by David Hyland. I think what Danny Neville should have done, he had done the initial part really well. He should have cut across. He cut across him because he was losing momentum. He took it on a shot on the back foot. He needed to cut across David and take a left-footed shot at that stage.
And perhaps a little bit quicker as well.
Absolutely.
Very skillful, but just holding on to it a little bit. As Kildare counter-attack. Here comes Alex Byrne. Brendan Gibbons. Tommy Gill. Derek Kerwin. Easy ball for Josh Ryan to deal with. Lays it off to Tony McCarthy. Playing it a little bit tight, but Ian Corbett is able to weave his way out of trouble. Darrow Hagan. Killian Fahy. Getting around his first marker. Has to get through the two of them. Good pressure by Kildare. Free to Limerick. Picked up quickly by Tommy Childs. And then the referee. I think there's also a bit of confusion here. Referee hadn't spotted, I think, that Tommy had picked the ball up and started running. They're already taken a couple of steps.
I think Tommy needs to be more clued into as to what is the real pragmatic thing Limerick need to do here. They have a 2-point scoring opportunity from a brilliant 2-point free taker. The right thing to do there is let Josh Ryan come up and have a go at it, because potentially could have lost that attack, and even if they had to get a 1-pointer, that's fine, but Josh Ryan is a really accomplished kicker, and he should, well, he has more than a good chance of kicking this one, Marty.
This is where Tommy just took off, and then there was a foul, and then the referee gave the free. It's on the 40-metre line. Josh Ryan, the goalkeeper from Ula in the county of Limerick. They have a fine hurling team as well in Ula. Going to take this. Hits it well. Hits it convincingly. And hits it accurately. For his 2-pointer. And now, Limerick will be inspired, no doubt about that. Back to a 2-point game, 115 to 113.
Back to a 2-point game, and Callum Bolton had a word with him on his way up, and Josh Ryan has reminded him that there's 2 more points on the board, so there's a bit of needle settle into it now, Marty. But Limerick have to play to their strengths. They love the structured attack, they're really good at it. So a bit like the England rugby team with Johnny Wilkinson in his prime, play for the 2-point freeze that Josh Ryan can kick.
This is Jack McKevitt coming on. Normally plays defender wing back. And as Kildare make changes, also coming in is Brian McLaughlin. And they're the changes, Jack McKevitt and Brian McLaughlin coming on. The player that's going off is Brendan Gibbons and James McGrath, wing back in midfield. They have played their part in this Tailteann Cup final.
And Brian McLaughlin, Marty, led up the semi-final with 5 points, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on today.
Limerick go back into the attack here. Peter Nash giving it to Emmett Richter. Nash sees that the first solo didn't work well for Richter, so he's there to deliver the ball back over towards Killian Ryan. Tony McCarthy with already 3 points to his credit. Going for the return pass. Limerick trying to make ground. Back out for Paul Maher. Happy to recycle it for Killian Ryan. Playing it down the Kazakhstan side. In the centre, calling for it is Ian Corbett. Stepping inside that 40-metre line. Almost on the edge of the D with the left boot. And the umpires are happy enough to raise the white flag. Ian Corbett with his first point in this Tailteann Cup final. And now there's only one between them. The Lily Whites and Shannon Siders are producing a very, very tense and intriguing contest. Now listen to the people of Limerick who've made the journey to Croke Park. There is a buzz around GA headquarters.
That's after lifting the temperature even more, Marty, on a scorching hot day. Ian Corbett, one of Limerick's finest ever, with a brilliant score.
Here comes Daniel Flynn, mentioning one of Kildare's finest. Quick lay off, over for Dara Kerwin. Referee has blown his whistle, I think, but he's given this, the advantage has gone over the bar. Good score for Dara Kerwin, his 6th of the match.
And a really quick response, a really good response by Kildare. And it's end-to-end. It's like a game of ping-pong now at the moment, and that will probably suit Kildare. Limerick will want it a little bit more structured.
Kick out from Josh Ryan is a poor one, and the momentum swings back to Kildare. He'll be disappointed with that. And it's funny, after a score like that and you have a poor kick out, psychologically the advantage swings to the opposition. Here comes Kildare now with Brian McLaughlin coming in.
It does, Marty, and it's interesting that Josh did that, because all year he's been going long, and I wonder, is he trying to lure Kildare to think that he has the short one in his game? Maybe he's better served going long where they're getting a bit of joy from it.
David Hyland laying it off towards Colm Dalton. He's gaining a bit of ground. Back to Colm Dalton. Can he get the shot in? And Limerick just about survive. Wonderful work by what the man they called the Bull Dalton from Salads. And now look what's going to happen. Limerick counter-attack. There's Acres of Croke Park in front of this man. Good running by Paul Maher. Can he finish it off? The final solo was not a great one, but he gets the shot in, and great defending by Kildare. 10 out of 10 Kildare. They were under pressure when the attack at the goal line at the Hill 16 end broke down, but my God, what a recovery by Kildare. Now they go into counter-attack mode. They're in the middle of the field. It's that man again, Dara Kerwin from Naas. Good hands, great hands in fact, as they try to work the ball out towards the Hogan stand side in front of the, between the 45 and 65 metre line, as you can see.
Football is back, Marty. Football is back, football is cool again. The last 5 minutes, the whole game in general actually has been really riveting. And Sean Kavanagh rightfully alluded on the analysis at half-time that Kildare weren't throwing their bodies on the line, but they've got 2 excellent blocks in the second half, a bit of last-ditch defending, a bit of desire by them.
Caelan Bolton got the first 2 pointers for Kildare in the first half. Over for Alex Byrne, who's already scored a goal and a point. He's available again. Delivered. Ultimately to David Hyland. Tommy Gill. Playing wing back, but fancies himself as a forward. There was a moment hesitation. Good defending by Limerick. Still there. Foul with the boot going in. And Limerick go into counter-attack mode and they use the long ball. There's an opportunity here for Limerick. Heading towards the 45. It's Limerick with the possession. Good work by Darragh Murray. Cutting inside is that man. It's Peter Nash. And Peter Nash sends it between the posts and over the bar.
Rude one. A kick pass when the free ball broke loose. I don't know why Brian McLaughlin-Marty didn't kick it over the bar. He was on fire 3 weeks ago in Croke Park. That would have been his absolutely ideal scenario. A handy score to start his introduction. And the very far end, Peter Nash shows a bit of creativity, cuts inside. And football, it's up and down at the moment, and it's brilliant.
Daniel Flynn has gone off and Owen Colley is on. And Limerick are going to introduce a man who came on a while ago as a blood substitution, and looks like Barry Coleman to me. There he is, confirmation that Barry Coleman is on. And the player that's going off is Paul Maher. The bench have to play a major role now, with still loads of time. 23 minutes still to go. 1 point between the teams. Twice level in the first half. Cian Burke going for distance, heading towards the Cusack stand. Limerick have the breaking ball. Again, looking for it, wanting it. It's the Limerick number 20, that's Barry Coleman, just introduced from Rathkeale. And Limerick have an opportunity here on the 20, on the 13, taking a shot, and it's deflected into the net. Limerick have the goal. Killian Ryan takes the shot, and the people of Limerick stand to their feet. They've been used to doing this for the hurlers over the last number of years. Now they have it for the footballers. Deflected into the net with a shot from Killian Ryan, who'll take the credit. Now look at the scoreboard. Limerick 2-15, Kildare 1-16. Coming forward is Ryan Burke.
Sorry, Marty, game on now, and I don't know why, but on Kildare's kick out for Cian Burke, Limerick had the overload of players. There was 5-3, and from that overload they get the goal.
And Kildare now have to calm the nerves, having conceded the second goal. Both of these teams have played 5 games in the Tailteann Cup. Both teams have won each and every one of those games. It's all to play for in the final. Trailing now by 2:15 to 1:16. Here comes the response, and that is just tailing to the left and wide for Kildare's 6th wide of the match.
Kildare now are going to have to settle themselves, get hands on ball. If they have to slow it down now, initially slow it down, because the Limerick, the fans are energised, the players are feeding off that, they're growing in confidence with every minute.
Darren O'Doherty, fullback, lays it off. Kildare putting the pressure on. Comes across to Jason Hassett, another one of the Mungret St. Paul's club, just Limerick City, but that's a poor pass. Very poor pass from Darragh Murray, and Kildare counter-attack. Good work here by Owen Colley. Quick ball in, laying it off. He lays it off, and that is tailing to the right and wide. And as much as we say about Limerick having 3 opportunities, that surely was an opportunity as well. This time it fell to Ryan Sinky. Disappointment for the Kildare manager, Brian Flanagan.
And now Josh Ryan is easily getting off the short kick out, because Kildare have somewhat retreated, so they obviously want him to go short. They're trying to set a trap, maybe use the sideline as an extra defender, but Limerick are walking out, Marty. Kildare are now actually not pressing hard enough if they're going to concede the kick out.
Clear push on the back on Danny Neville. Referee is giving him the advantage. He's under pressure, Neville, and eventually the referee blows the whistle. Correct call by the Mayo official from Ballina. Looking around to see who's available. Ian Corbett. Normal service has resumed. Goes the direct route. Barry Coleman was waiting in front of the Hogan. Ian Corbett cuts inside on the edge of the D. Can he follow through? Is it over the bar? No. Ball is wide. Limerick's 8 wide of the match. It remains 2 points between the teams with 20 minutes to go.
And I think what Limerick did there, they used a bit of a bounce board in the old D, where Tommy Childs came out, collected the ball, laid it back. They didn't get the result. Kildare used it in the first half to great effect with Alex Byrne. And I think with the way both these teams are setting up, there's more room for them to go after that type of play.
50-50 ball, really well won by Owen Colley. Ball inside, Josh Ryan has to make it. He doesn't. The goalkeeper is out. Forward is down. No free, no penalty, and Limerick come away with it. A dangerous moment for both Limerick and Kildare, but the referee decides that it is no free, it is no penalty. We'll have a look back at that in a moment. Meanwhile, it's Barry Coleman from Rathkeale bringing the ball forward, laying it off for his Danny Neville. Thought about it at least. Gives it instead to him and Richter. Richter, nice skill. But double mark, treble mark by Kildare. Killian Ryan and Limerick are happy to cool matters down.
But they definitely are now, Marty. After that, they're just, I'd say, so relieved that they didn't have to pick the ball out of their own net. They're going to thank their lucky stars, and they're probably now going to definitely try and slow down the tempo a little bit.
Josh Ryan just had to make that ball, and there was no question about he having to make it, but he failed to make it. Now can Limerick, with James Naughton having been relieved of that moment, with not conceding either a free, a penalty, or indeed a goal, can they counter-attack here and get another score? Tony McCarthy has already scored 3 times. Pass goes astray. Ball is back outside, and Limerick are happy to just maintain control. No panic, says Barry Coleman.
I think you can see both teams tiring, Marty. Even the Kildare defensive setup, yes, I know they're pushing out now a little bit further on Limerick, but their body language looks that little bit lethargic, where at the start there was more energy in it. It now looks that little bit lethargic, like I said, and it's only natural. We're playing in scorching heat. It's to be expected.
Killian Fahey.
The whole middle of the pitch, Marty. Limerick do this excellently. They have the whole middle of the pitch for their strike runners.
Well spotted, Nigel, and indeed Limerick had the opportunity. Pass goes straight back out again for his Danny Neville, but the space had opened up, Nigel. Kildare were going both left and right, but they weren't manning the centre. Here comes Peter Nash, twisting, turning, not looking to see if who's available. Spots, here it comes to Danny Neville dropping out. It's a poor ball from the wing forward, and it's an easy gathering by the goalkeeper, Keane Burke. Now, can Kildare counter-attack here? There's only 2 points between them. There's 17 minutes to go. Colm Dalton is back there helping out his defence. Gets by the initial 2 challenges. Second one was a little bit more difficult. Good work, full marks. This time to Barry Coleman. He's getting on a lot of ball, the wing forward from Rathkeale. Coming down the wing is Emmett Richter. Back to the Rathkeale man. He's going for it. Dropping in, and it's easy ball for Keane Burke. Jimmy Lee, the Limerick manager, will not be pleased because he gives the initiative. Either kill it by sending it wide or putting it over the bar, but don't drop it into the opponent's goalkeeper because they can then so easily counter-attack. 50-50 ball, well won by Alex Byrne. Perhaps blinded initially by the sunshine, but he got it. That was the most important thing. Callum Bolton looking around to see who he can pass it. They're going for the 2-pointer. It's from way out the field, and it is a superb effort. Brilliant score by Brian McLaughlin.
And Marty, Brian McLaughlin, that's what I was saying, that first chance he got where he hesitated. This guy has magic in that left boot. So every chance he gets, every time he sees the black spot or the whites of the post, he needs to be going for it. That was a brilliant score.
This was the opportunity down here at the other end. Now, was this a penalty? Owen Cully was coming in, but Limerick defended admirably. And Limerick are going to introduce now another substitution. This time it's Robbie Child's brother Tommy that's coming in for Limerick. Sides level for the 3rd time. 1:18 Kildare, 2:15 Limerick. 16 minutes to go. Opportunity outside the D, outside the 20-metre line, and Limerick are back in front. It's that man, Killian Fahey, with a goal and a point to his credit.
And he's really playing a captain's role today, Marty. He's working his socks off the ball. He's making good decisions on the ball, and that was a brilliant score.
Picked up by Tommy Gale. Given over to Harry O'Neill. Brian Byrne waiting in front of the Hogan. Alex Byrne to Tommy Gill. Carrying it into Limerick territory. Callum Bolton found a little gap. Good hands. It's that man Derek Kerwin again. He's now scored 7 points in this Tailteann Cup final. A championship debutant against Offaly 5 years ago. And the Leinster A-Schools winner in ACBS coming up through the ranks. I have to say, I think Derek Kerwin has played a major role for Kildare today.
A major role is right. He's an out-and-out striker in the olden ways. He wants to score, he takes pride in scoring, but Callum Bolton there, who kicked the two-pointer in the first half, his ability to beat the man one-on-one was critical, and he made the right decision laying it off to the shooter.
55 minutes on the clock, almost 56. The sides are level again for the 4th time. Paul coming over towards Callum Bolton. Cutting in through the middle to Alex Byrne. Getting the return. Making ground. Back outside to Derek Kerwin. As Kildare try and break down this Limerick defence. It's Tommy Gill. High, very high, and very accurate. That is a great score, Tommy Gill. All the way from Carberry. Fancies himself as a forward, I know, but he's wing back today. But when he goes forward, this is what he can do. Great score.
Brilliant score from a tight angle, and he shows what he can do, getting hands in at one end and kicking scores at the other, and that was a really good score by Tommy.
Josh Ryan goes for distance. Broken down, 2 players down just outside the Kildare 45-metre line. They're going long. It's 2 against 2 up here. Oh, fabulous catch. Great catch. It's Kevin Feely trying to lay it back, but Limerick have the ball, but the referee blows the whistle. He's given a free in. But Kevin Feely moving into the full forward line, causing problems for Limerick. That is just beautiful to watch. Out jumping Mark McCarthy, being fouled subsequently. It's a free in for Kildare. They've gone from a 1-point advantage to surely a 2-point advantage heading into the home stretch.
And for the life of me, Marty, I do not know why Kildare don't do that more often. And especially on a day like today, where the sun is shining down and players are gasping for breaths. If you have someone like Kevin Feely, who's so good close to goal, and there is a different skill winning high ball in a full forward position as to midfield, but he's equally good at both. And they need to use that more, I think.
And by the way, Kildare have scored a goal in 21 points, 1 goal in 20 from play, and 1 free. Remarkable scoring and a remarkable statistic from a Kildare perspective. Meanwhile, Limerick are back now, trailing by 2 points with 12 minutes to go.
And with the momentum turns, Marty, it's just so hard to say that one team will sustain their momentum. There will be more shifts over the next 12 minutes.
Here comes the shot, but that ball is harmlessly wide. Disappointing end from a Limerick perspective here. Keane Burke looking to see who's available, but you can see from your television screen that Limerick are pushing up, so he has to go long, and Limerick get the possession. Tommy Childs, Danny Neville, Barry Coleman, Peter Nash survives the challenge from Derek Kerwin, laying it over towards Killian Ryan. Kildare gather around the house, trying to block the passageway. Opportunity again, perhaps 1 point will do, and that is looking good to me. It's over the bar. Good score, as Limerick are patient and they narrow the gap to the minimum of margins. Full credit to the man who got the credit of the deflected goal as well, Killian Ryan.
And Marty, what I was saying earlier, with Killian Ryan and Tony McCarthy, the way Limerick played, they're going to get more scoring opportunities, and I don't think it's by accident that they're playing on that position in the field, because they'll get chances in front of goal.
1 point between the teams. 10 minutes to go. Tailteann Cup for Kildare and Limerick is so important. We've seen other teams, indeed Meath won the Tailteann Cup 2 years ago, and look where they are now in the All-Ireland football semi-final tomorrow against Donegal.
it's a brilliant platform, and it's proven to be the case, and down push the likes of Galway to the pin of their colours. It's definitely, the Tailteann Cup as a whole is working, Marty, because Meath and Down are living evidence that it is. And Kildare would be deemed as a team that could make that step up, but Limerick will have something to say about it, I think.
Down were very impressive against Galway, and Park Esler and Newry, you could see the development happening for Down. Meanwhile, on here the pitch, it's that man again. Great score over the bar. Dara Kerwin with 8 points in this match. And it gives Kildare a 2-point advantage again.
And there's huge comfort from a Kildare point of view, knowing that if they can get the ball into Dara Kerwin's hands, it's likely going to end in a score. He doesn't have to work too hard for scores. He just naturally finds himself in positions where he's going to be on the end of the moves, because that's what he wants, that's what his skill set is good at. He's kicking scores both left and right.
Taigo Shukru is on for Ian Corbett. Kick out eventually comes Limerick's way. Picked up indeed by the Mona Lean man, Taigo Shukru, but he loses the possession. Oh, great work by Kildare. They're putting in the hard work now. Colm Dalton giving it back for us, Alex Byrne. Over towards Dara Kerwin. Tommy Gale scored one great point just a short time ago. Perhaps thinking about another. Miscued it. Ball is well wide. Advantage will swing back to Limerick again.
He took that shot under the pressure, Marty. He thought your man was right up his back, but he actually had more time than he even knew.
Kick out from Josh Ryan was a poor one. It gives the initiative to Kildare. Limerick could regret this as Kildare take advantage and put that over the bar. It gives them a 3-point advantage now. Kick out was a poor one. That's what caused the problem at a crucial moment in this match. And a good score in the end by Brian McLaughlin, his second of the game. Third overall. Scored a 2-pointer earlier. And it's now Kildare 123, Limerick 217, 26-23. And Kildare are winning the breaking ball, crucial time in the match.
And Marty, I think they have a few players that just know where the goals are that little bit easier. Dara Kerwin, Brian McLaughlin, they seem to score that bit easier.
Brian McLaughlin has played his part since being introduced, a massive part of the under-20 All-Ireland winning side under Davy Burke a few years ago, giving it back in turn for Caleb Bolton. Over towards Colm Dalton. Dalton, nice ball inside, he's going for it, and he squeezes it inside the post for his second point of the match. Great play by Colm Dalton. He averages 2 or 3 points per game. Well, this is his second, and it gives the Lily Whites a 4-point advantage coming down towards the final whistle. Brian Flanagan can barely look at the big scoreboard because he can see it now, light at the end of the tunnel.
It's getting really, really close for Kildare. They've created that 4-point lead. They're in the ascendancy, and just as I said, Limerick get hands on ball, which was critical.
Nice ball inside, comes far as Peter Nash, and outside the D, he hits it, and it's wide again. Crucial moments where Limerick had relatively easy opportunities, and they've all been wasted, unfortunately, from their perspective. It's the 10th wide of the match for Limerick.
And there's players cramping up now, Marty. There's water bottles being flung in. It's like a war field out there. They've given everything, both counties.
Kick out from Ken Burke, runs on. Limerick have the possession. Calling for it, looking for it is Killian Fahey. In the centre is Tommy Childs. Comes back again for us, Killian Fahey. 6 minutes to go. Peter Nash giving it back to Killian Fahey. Darren Murray. Kildare player down with cramp. Just at the top of your screen a moment ago. The ball is lost by James Naughton. And Kildare have the possession, and they'll be grateful for it.
Limerick had the numerical advantage there with a Kildare player down with cramps. So I thought they could have utilised that a little bit better, created a 2v1. They'll be disappointed with that one.
David Hyland spraying the ball over towards Ryan Burke. Kildare happy to build slowly. This is Harry O'Neill, joint captain of the under-20 All-Ireland winning side back in 2023. Many of these players coming through. Here's Brian McLaughlin. David Hyland. Clock is ticking towards the 66th minute.
What we've seen teams do, Marty, over the years is they know the hooter's going to go in just over 4 minutes. You've seen Loudoun, the Leinster final, they held on to it. I don't know if Kildare are that type of team. I think they'll want to get another score.
Advantage being given. Referee's arm is outstretched. The ball comes back off the post. Free is handed back by Killian Ryan, which is another one of the new rules, which the players are certainly doing in every game that I've seen this year, but particularly at this stage of the championship. And the free for Kildare has now been brought back outside the 40-metre line. As Limerick introduce another substitute, that looks like Rory O'Brien from Father Casey, and Tommy Childs has run out of diesel. He's given his all. Also coming on is Mick O'Grady. What a servant this man has been over the years from Selbridge. 31 years of age. Championship debutant against Down in 2014. Good to see him get on as Kildare are within 4 minutes of the Tailteann Cup, heading towards Kildare. Not adding to their tally on this occasion. Alex Byrne will be disappointed. There is still opportunity for Limerick, but they need to get the ball down to the other half of the field. Kerry Tyrone, first of all, Ireland semi-finals, will be coming your way shortly. You'll be joined by Eamon Fitzmaurice and Darren Maloney as Limerick go forward. This is Barry Coleman, Killian Fahey, Peter Nash, busy as always.
You'd feel, Marty, Limerick will have to score from this attack to give themselves a chance to press the last play of the game, potentially.
Going for the two-pointer. It's tailing to the left and wide. Never really connected properly off the boot of Darren Murray. And with it, perhaps, goes Limerick opportunities, because, as you say, Nigel, Limerick really needed to score from there. Get a little bit closer.
The players are so tired. Both keepers are now getting off short kickouts. And if Kildare can just hold on to the ball for a few minutes, they'll have the Tailteann Cup back.
Brian McLaughlin laying it off towards Colm Dalton. Kildare will play this down. They're heading towards the 68th minute. Alex Byrne giving it back to Colm Bolton, and he's fouled, and that's going to be a free in for Kildare.
That's exactly what Kildare would have wanted, and don't underestimate what a Tailteann Cup will do for Kildare, Marty. It might not be the brilliant scenes of the 90s where Micko sprinkled the stardust all over Kildare and there was 60,000 Kildare fans at games, but this will be the foundations to set all that alight again.
Back out for Jack McKevitt. Alex Byrne having a go. Josh Ryan, good hands under the crossbar. Peter Nash playing almost at left corner back. Gives the ball away, or gets the ball away, I should say. And Limerick now heading towards the 69 minutes. There will be time, I'm sure, added on for injuries. They need scores, Limerick. Kildare need to hang on. Danny Neville heading towards those goals, heading towards the 20-metre line. Stopped, laid off, trying to cut inside. They've cut the ice here, and the ball is inside, and the referee has blown his whistle and has given a free in to Limerick, just on the edge of the large rectangle on the 13-metre line. Cutting through was Killian Fahey. and he was fouled outside.
He was fouled outside, and from a Limerick point of view, from a Limerick supporter point of view, if Danny Neville and Killian Fahey could have got more of them type of players going in the second half, they could have been in a lot better position. But they're only one score behind now, Marty.
1 score, 1 goal, 3 points. Jimmy Lee, animated, passionate as always, trying to inspire that they have to get this ball now. Kildare 124, 27 points. Limerick 218, and Kildare have it with Brian O'Loughlin coming through. And the free is for Kildare. Brian McLaughlin. Oh, it's going to be a throw ball, and it's going to be a free to Limerick. And Limerick come away with it. We're heading towards the last 20 seconds. Trying to get by is Monaleen's, is Rakeel's, Barry Coleman. Kildare back there in numbers now. Can Limerick create a goal opportunity? Here's the shot. Thought about it, lays it off. They're queuing up. Here comes the shot. Saved. Back outside. And it's gone over the bar. And the hooter sounds as the ball skips over the crossbar. They had the opportunity, but they needed to put the ball under the crossbar, not over it. The drama of the Tailteann Cup. Limerick players stretched on the ground in total disappointment. They'll be heartbroken. Kildare are hugging themselves. Jimmy Lee, to his credit, celebrating, or congratulating, I should say, Brian Flanagan, the Kildare manager. Kildare just barely hung on. Oh, the drama of the Tailteann Cup. In his very first year, Brian Flanagan has brought silverware for the first time in 25 years to the Lily White country. It's a great day for Kildare. This was the opportunity for Limerick. Saved brilliantly by Cian Burke. It took a deflection, and it was deflected over the crossbar. Oh my word! Heart-stopping moments at the Davin end, and great defending by Kildare as the ball was deflected, not under the bar but over, and Cian Burke can issue a sigh of relief. And they all did it in Kildare as well, issued a sigh of relief.
A sigh of relief is right. Kildare have done what they were tasked with doing at the start of the year, what they expected to do. Huge congratulations to them. They'll feel the good times are back. They have a whole host of under-20s coming. They now have a Tailteann Cup. Their supporters now have something to believe in. From a Limerick point of view, they've had 3 weeks of uninterrupted support from the Limerick supporters. Where the hurlers uncharacteristically went out early, they had full backing. This was a brilliant game, a brilliant advertisement for the Tailteann Cup. Congratulations to Kildare.
Celebrations. I know there are people all the way, they're watching around the world, but I know the Celtic Cowboys J Club in Austin, Texas are here today. They're led by Pat Job, a Limerick man. They're celebrating 21 years of existence, and their ladies football camogie. They cater for everybody in Austin, Texas, and they too will have witnessed a Tailteann Cup final that we won't forget, as Jimmy Lee commiserates with the centre half forward Killian Fahey scored a goal and a point. The sides were level 4 times overall, but what a match, with Kildare scoring a goal and 23 points from play on a day when they scored a goal and 24, and they won the Tailteann Cup, following in the footsteps of counties like Down and Meath and Westmeath. And they too, you'll see what Meath are doing tomorrow. You've seen the progress right Down and indeed Westmeath to a lesser extent, but Kildare will certainly build. So too will Brian Flanagan on this wonderful performance. We had 2 cracking goals. We were level so many times in this match, and look at the drama at the very end. That ball hitting the back of the net after the hooter sounded, Limerick would have been celebrating, but instead of that, it was Kildare that are celebrating. Great day so far, more to come, with Kerry and Tyrone coming away. Full-time score, Kildare 1 goal, 24 points, Limerick 2 goals and 19. Let's go straight down to the sideline for our man of the match recipient.
Uachtar Cumann Lucas Gael, Irla Bryn is here alongside the GA Tailteann Cup man of the match, Dara Kerwin. Congratulations, Dara. Dara, it was a very, very tight game. Did you expect anything else from a gritty and tight Limerick side?
No, not at all. In fairness, we expected nothing different. They've had a brilliant year and they're really on the up, so just relieved, to be honest. It was nip and tuck all game. Tough conditions, the heat. Like the other day we were here, it was extreme rain, extreme heat. Today it was tough, but no, just delighted. You
kind of targeted the 2-pointers early on, Dara, and they proved to be crucial in the end.
It wasn't necessarily something we targeted, to be honest. It just came off. Thankfully there was a bit of a breeze into that goal, and kind of once you get 1 or 2, your confidence is up, so yeah.
What do you make of this as part of the Kildare evolution, the building back to where you want to be, Dara? Could easily have been in a Leinster final in a different way, but to get through this cup, to win the competition, what does it mean to you guys?
Yeah, I suppose like that loud defeat was gut-wrenching, and it's probably still lingering in a way, and it probably took to today for it to really get out of our system. You know, it was really tough, but look, we're a young group, we're a new group, and if anything, we've stuck together till mid-July, extra gym sessions, extra training, so it can only stand to us in the long term, and hopefully it mobilises the county and supporters a bit.
Final question for you. A lot of young lads coming through. There's 8 of this side from Brian's under 2021 teams as well. Lovely blend of youth and experience coming through in this team at the same time.
There is, yeah. There's a lot of lads who have medals at under 20 All-Ireland level in their back pocket, mixed with huge experience like Kev Feely, Daniel, Mick came on there, so yeah, it's a nice blend for the moment. So we'll keep.
Good man, Dara. Tailteann Cup man of the match. Congratulations.
Well done to Dara Kerwin, scoring 8 points in this Tailteann Cup final. But here in Croke Park, a significant moment as Kildare will be given the Tailteann Cup. 2022 it was Westmeath, 2023 Meath, 2024 Down, and Charlotte Burns will now say Cúpla Focal, Os Gaeilge agus Os Béarla.
a Tamajinye a Ekalan Shaw, a Barkin Croke, Sakorn, Clehacanis, a Gorn Tailteann. While sa Fossam a Wehas of Cogarges, a goal, the Shinrachor Liam Devani, O come the way O, August and Club Ballana, August Efaki, Mayala and Art Tashbomb, the Hugshi doing. I also want to thank our sponsors for this competition, Allianz, AIB and Super Value. Long-term sponsors, faithful sponsors, and we really appreciate the help that you give us. I also want to use this opportunity to mention our broadcast partner, RTE, not only for the profile that you have given to this competition by televising the semi-finals and finals, but also the high standard of broadcasting and punditry that you bring to our games for many years. To Limerick, you will reflect on this game as part of your journey. You won Division 4 this year. You were part of what was one of the best games played on this ground the year. You should be very proud of your efforts. Cogarges Liverfag. I also want to single out your manager, Jimmy Lee, for the access that he gave to the media this week to his team. You are a template for how other teams should give access to the media to promote our games through our wonderful footballers and hurlers. Maishiv Limnock. But today it belongs to the Lily Whites. What a year it has been for this team, winning the Joe McDonagh Cup, winning promotion from Division 2 to Division 1 for your hurlers, winning promotion from Division 3 to Division 2 for your footballers. And now, next year, like Meath before you and Down, I know you can make a big impact on the Sam Maguire when you are back into it next year, where you belong. And of course, the people who have put you here, the administrators and your supporters, have also been responsible for rebuilding your proud, beautiful stadium, Cathedral St. Conleth's Park. Every one of you have been part of that journey. And so, it comes to present the cup to a man who could have spent his life playing professional soccer, but he chose to give that up to play his native game. He was prevented from being here on the Division 3 day whenever they were beaten, but I had a funny feeling he would be back on a bigger day. So, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a great pleasure to present Corn Tailteann to a wonderful captain and a proud Athy man, Kevin Feely.
The Tailteann Cup is a very special competition captured by the imagination of the people involved in the GAA. Kevin Feely, captain of Kildare. Kildare, Tailteann Cup champions 2025. Kildare can build on this. The fireworks is only the beginning of the celebrations.
To be up here receiving this cup on behalf of the Kildare team. When I think of the captains in my playing days that have gone before me, Mick O'Grady, Dave Hyland, Owen Doyle, inspirational leaders and standard bearers for Kildare for years who deserve to be up here more than anyone. This one's for you, lads. As usual, there's a lot of people to thank and acknowledge for their efforts this year, but I'll try not to keep you too long. To Limerick, congratulations on a brilliant year, achieving promotion and a brilliant Tailteann campaign. Well done on a serious battle today, and with the talent in that team, I've no doubt the future of football is absolutely bright in Limerick. Thank you. To today's ref, Liam Devaney, and all the match officials, thank you for reffing such a fair match. I know it hasn't been easy this year with the new rules adapting to it, but you did a great job today. Thank you, lads. A huge thank you to the Kildare County Board, Brady Ham, and all our sponsors and contributors. There was no stone left unturned to help us this year, and we've had everything we needed. Hopefully between this and Joe McDonough, it's been some way repaid. Thank you. To the partners and families of everyone involved, a massive thank you for your unwavering support and for putting up with all the hardships that come with supporting us and allowing us to do what we love. We appreciate it a huge amount. In addition to that, to the people of Kildare who have come and supported us through thick and thin, especially during the more recent thinner times, thank you so much for your support. Now to our extensive and top-class backroom team. Our medical team, Dr. Owen Gallagher, Breffney O'Donnell, Sheila Flood and Mick O'Toole. Our S&C team, Neil Welsh, Dean Ryan, Stephen Shanks, Rob Higgins. Our nutrition support, Laura Keela and Orla O'Keefe. Our performance analysts, John Buckley, Kate Timmins, Ronan Joyce, Steve Sheeran, Donny Hurley. Our kitman, Dan O'Keely and Shane McEnany. And I have to mention our long-serving retired kitman, Tom Murphy, as well. And the groundsmen in Hawkfield and Conlitz, Eric Thorpe and Fintan Barrett. To our performance team, Jerry Hussey and Emer Fogarty, who have brought a new level of mental strength and resilience to this Kildare team. A huge thank you to each and every one of you for everything you've done for us this year. We really felt like the most best prepared team in the country. Thank you so much. To our coaches, selectors and logistics men, Aidan O'Rourke, Damien Hendy, Darryl Flynn, Ken Keoghan and Tygo O'Neill, I can't thank you enough for your efforts this year. Every session was challenging, competitive and enjoyable, and we are better players for having you on board. Thank you. To our manager, Brian Flanagan. What a brilliant first year. Your energy, enthusiasm and absolute belief in what we are capable of is infectious, and you've made such a huge impact already. Long may it continue. Thank you for everything this year. And finally, to the playing group in front of me, with a special mention to some of our injured lads who missed out today, Jimmy Hyland, Ben McCormick, Owen Lawler, Shane Farrell, Carl Hagney, who would have done anything to be here today. It's been the greatest honour to captain you this year. There have been ups and downs, no doubt, but we've ended up with a group with a special connection whose ceiling is whatever we want it to be going forward. Thanks to each and every one of you for your efforts this year, and let's keep driving it on for Kildare. Up the Lilies!
How brilliant to see the great Kevin Feely up there getting his hands on silverware at last. And Tomás O'Shea, I'm just thinking, as we were listening, Kevin, who was part of our presentation team for last year's semi-finals of the Tailteann, because Kildare disappointed in 2024. When you think about the captains who have raised this cup already, you had Kevin Maguire, so inspirational for Westmeath. You had Donal Keoghan, who's still putting his body on the line for Meath, as he will be doing tomorrow. Pierce Laverty last year. And now we have that man, Kevin Feely, joining the list.
Yeah, and he had a major say, Joanne, in the finals act of the match. He went into full forward. He was carrying a knock. The lads asked him, did he want to come off? He didn't want to come off, so it's a big win. We said at the start of the day that Kildare really had to win this one. They had to dig deep. They were much improved in the second half. They have a team, I suppose, that are sprinkled with those under-20s that are after coming through, plus the 5 or 6 lads that have been there with a long time. Brian Flanagan has picked them off the floor, basically, and they're after winning a cup. They won't be happy with it. They'll kick on, but a great day for Kildare today. But you'd have to feel for Limerick. I thought they were absolutely outstanding. in every facet of the game. They went the whole distance. They nearly crept a draw at the very, very end. It is a pity, but I'd have a soft spot for Limerick in general, but they put in a massive performance, but it's Kildare's day.
Kieran, at half-time, Sean Kavanagh made the criticism of Kildare that as good as they looked at times up front, that they simply weren't putting their bodies on the line. Did they change that in the second?
Well, I think they kind of had to, Joanne. They had to up it. They definitely changed and tried to kick the ball a lot more. But they were under pressure. You know, 53rd minute in, they were 2 points down, and there was numerous chances, obviously, for Limerick during that period that they probably just weren't clinical enough. But Kildare had to up it. They had to fight harder and make a few changes around the middle of the park, and they closed it out at the end of the day.
Well, their manager happens to be here standing beside us, listening to everything you say. Here's Brian Flanagan. Brian, congratulations, first of all.
Thanks very much.
Kieran reckons that, yeah, you had to put your bodies on the line in the second half, that perhaps you weren't doing that in the opening half. Would you agree?
I think that's a fair point. In the opening half, we seemed to sit back a little bit inside the arc and maybe a little bit passive in how we were defending it. So it allowed Limerick long passages of play. They were able to relax in possession, and on a day like today we certainly didn't intend to do that. We wanted to push out. It was spoken about at half time, and certainly in the second half, midway through, when you go a couple of points down, it almost becomes you've no choice now but to go and do it. And I think the lads fed off that a little bit, and the bench had a big impact, and it just brought a bit more aggression and bite going down the home stretch.
Kieran, you want to ask something as we watch we'll just watch some of the key things that Brian was talking about there.
That's what we were talking about, some of the brilliant blocks, Brian. You know, David Hyland, you know, gets back here to, you know, the game at the time of the game when you're under pressure. And then I think even Brian McLaughlin made a massive impact when he came in off the bench, and he, you know, the amount of the turnovers that she forced in that last quarter. I know you'd moved Kevin Feely in midfield, and Dalton and Alex Bourne were gone out to the middle. Was that part of the plan, or was that forced?
The part force, part plan, but what I would say was I even felt in the first half we were actually scrambling very well in how we defended. It was when we were back in our shape, we sort of stayed maybe a little bit tight. In the second half, I think they had fresh legs, and Limerick had 3 or 4 very, very fast attacks that were dangerous, but the effort made by 2 or 3 lads in that middle bunch to get back, turn them, slow them down, and eventually maybe get a block on or a half block. We needed it badly.
Brian, ultimately, the energy in that last quarter really got you over the line, and I heard Dara Kerwin praising yourself for getting the group to do extra training to buy into the project. Was today part of the plan? I know everyone wanted Leinster success, Sam Maguire success, but did you talk about Tailteann Cup? Did you talk about buying into that and where that would bring you? And I suppose when you're looking at Down and Meath and how that's propelled them forward, and well, what a fantastic day it is to hear up the lilies in the Hogan stand. But was today part of the wider plan?
Yeah, I mean, we always knew it was a possibility, Sean. We didn't necessarily set out with the intention, or we didn't talk a huge amount about Tailteann in the first couple of months of the year. But we knew it was a possibility, to be fair, we did. And the players would have known that as well. What we did was when Louth beat us and we were disappointed on the day, we gave ourselves a couple of weeks. The draw came out. We felt that, you know, we would manage through the 3 or 4 weeks until the real knockout stages come into it. And then we sat down as a group, to be honest, after the Tipperary game on the Monday night, and we said, right, lads, let's draw a line. No more feeling sorry for ourselves, no more looking back, no more talking about Leinster or Sam or any of that stuff. That just had to be parked. And it was a very clear focus, very clear 4-step plan to get to this point and to win. And we said, whatever about losing previous games, we would accept nothing bar winning from here on in. And the players bought into it massively. They came together in a way that I probably hadn't seen previously, and the effort in everything we did, team sessions, video sessions, camps, the whole lot. There was just, from that point on, I felt there was an energy, and there was a want, and there was a proper focus, and there was no more talk of anything else. And the away day down in Roscommon, where we had to beat Sligo, that was tough. At home to Offaly, that was incredibly tough against a really good side who had beaten us twice this year. And then we obviously had the arm wrestling in the semi-final in bad conditions. So I thought they showed an awful lot of character, drive, want to get here, and I'm delighted they took care of business today.
Brian, I know you need to get back into your players, but one before you go, this is obviously only year one, and it's only the start, isn't it? I mean, all the pressure was on this team today. All the pressure was on this team in this competition. Now you're going into Division 2. You know you definitely have Sam Maguire for next year. If you don't build from here, is it worth anything, really?
Oh, I think you have to build, and the lads reference Down and Meath and what they've done since winning it. We fully intend doing that as well. We feel like this is the start of a journey, and we came in with a 4-year plan. Year one was absolutely to kind of create a winning culture and for lads to feel that. And we knew how important the step was today, and I don't think we played our best stuff. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we were a little bit edgy at times and passive and whatever else. We didn't really throw the shackles off, certainly not quick enough, but we did enough to win. And I think from a Kildare point of view, we've been criticised for not doing that in the past, not winning tight games, for maybe not seeing matches like that out. We did it today. We've got to lift silverware, and I think we can grow massively from here.
So well said, Brian Flanagan, thank you so much. Go celebrate with your team. We really appreciate your coming over to us.
Congratulations.
So there you go, Kildare into the Sam Maguire, and that's what they're going to be playing in next year. And Tyrone, they're looking to complete a rare footballing treble in 2025. And though this championship is impossible to predict from one minute to the next, there is one thing we can say about this evening's All-Ireland football semi-final with a degree of certainty. The Red Hand won't be making the mistake of underestimating Kerry.
A few of the newspaper columnists be moaning a little mini crisis in Kerry.
I just don't think Kerry have the replacements.
Can't be over-reliant on one man.
They haven't played a Division 1 team yet. A lot of vulnerabilities.
People were writing like Sir Shawnee off and saying Kerry were a one-man team.
And Kerry are running riot. Been score after score by the kingdom. It's O'Shea going for another two-pointer, and he does it once more.
Kerry stepped it up to a gear that we have not seen from them all year.
And Kerry have dethroned the champions. They had so many heroes, so many stars.
There were men today and they performed heroically.
We were coming in as underdogs here today. We were written off. People weren't giving us the hope. We full faith. We know the standard of our squad.
Kerry are a county, they do vengeance really, really well.
Kerry lads come to Croke Park written off, they're dangerous.